The championship trophy. This is what it's all about here at the 2015 Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Tournament. From the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia, 3 teams have already punched their ticket to the final. The final game of the day, the Hampton Pirates coming in as the number 6 seed, and they'll take on crosstown rival, the Norfolk State Spartans. They come in as the number 2 seed. A battle of the Bay. We're just moments away from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. Hello, everyone. Charlie Neal, along with my partner, Don Laser, and we welcome you into what looks like a pretty good crowd here tonight at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. These two schools only, 13 miles apart. Norfolk, Hampton University. They met twice during the regular season, and it was Norfolk State coming out victorious in both of these. So this is the rubber game of this match. But more importantly, it's a chance for one of these teams to punch their ticket to the championship game tomorrow against a team that upset the defending champs. We're talking about Delaware State. They knocked off North Carolina Central a little bit earlier.
Yeah, already a thriller in the semifinals that we've had here, including that big-time upset of the top seed, Charlie, and that was just a precursor to this because this arena is buzzing unlike we've seen it at any point this week. And I think, as you mentioned, this, of course, a rivalry game, such close proximity, and the third meeting, I think there's a danger in that mentality for both teams tonight to get lost in that, and that sometimes different feeling that you get against a rival where, again, the focus is on winning this tournament and getting that entrance into the NCAA tournament. So whichever of these teams handles this environment the best, handles their emotions the best, and can play it with the same mentality they've had against other less rivals or rivals less, will be in the outcome the winner tonight.
All right, we got Hampton University against Norfolk State. Deron Powers is a young man we're going to focus on for the Pirates.
Dwight McKeel went down in the opening round win for Hampton, and since then, Deron Powers has taken it upon himself to absolutely carry this basketball team. He does it with penetration. He does it with his own shot. He's the creator and the scorer, and he is the undisputed leader right now of this team. 41
points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists in the tournament so far. On the other side, Norfolk State will counter with a young man by the name of Jeff Short.
Yeah, just like Deron Powers, Jeff Short had to step up due to an injury to the big man. Rashid Gaston went down in the first half with a knee for Norfolk State in their second round game, and suddenly Jeff Short was absolutely on fire. 25 points later, Norfolk State waltzed their way here to the semifinal round. This kid is just a pure scorer, and we saw him do it in a variety of ways a couple nights ago. We'll more than likely see that again tonight.
How about the keys for Hampton University?
Jervon hasn't left the building. That would be Jervon Presley, and Presley has to play like he did in the second game of this tournament for Hampton. He was a man, contesting shots, rebounding the basketball, scoring the ball, and playing tough. He didn't do that in the first game, making things more difficult. Cash in the coupons. Hampton nearly coughed that game up, getting here to the semifinals because of missed free throws late. And this is a tight one. They've got to be more cool and feed off the energy of this environment tonight. Enjoy where you are and play loose because of it.
How about Norfolk State?
Norfolk State, check the gas gauge. Uncertain as to the condition of Rashid Gaston. He will not start tonight. Not sure if he'll play. Obviously, if he's out, that changes everything that Norfolk State tries to do. Maximize the short supply if they must. That's Jeff Short. You're going to need him to come up big once again to keep on moving. Start high, finish higher. That's an homage to my favorite show, How I Met Your Mother, Barney Stinson. That means start quicker than they did after the layoff in the quarterfinal round. They fell far behind. They don't need to put themselves in that situation again tonight.
Let's check out the starting lineups. We talked about Deron Powers. Brian Garden is also there, 27 points in 2 games. Javon Presley, we spoke of him already. Reggie Johnson, 33 points in 2 games so far for the Hampton Pirates. On the other side for Norfolk State, Jason Taylor, the number 2 man there behind him. Jamel Fuentes, 16.7 rebounds against South Carolina State. And this one is underway. And the dark gold uniforms, the Spartans of Norfolk State, Hampton University in the blue uniforms, and they have the ball to start this one off.
Saw the brief touch for Brian Darden, and he has been an assassin in this tournament thus far for the Pirates.
All the way across the court, Deron Powers had it in his hands. Here's a jumper, and that right away, Reggie Johnson with the basket, and Hampton out to a 2-0 lead.
Reggie Johnson stepped through the over pursue from the guards out of that 2-3 Norfolk State zone.
Down the lane goes Deshaun Taylor, tied up over there. Has to get it back out. Winters Out high. Jeff Short running the guard spot.
He's pursuing in a man-to-man.
From the corner, Fuentes make that Taylor rather. And that is a good basket by Norfolk State, 3-2.
Along with Short the other night, it was Deshaun Taylor who stepped up with 16 points, and he steps up and buries his first attempt.
Hampton won by 20 over Morgan State in the tournament, 91-71, then beat Maryland Eastern Shore by 5, 76-71. Inside, that's Vinegar Dovis standing there and standing his ground as Presley couldn't get anything going inside. The reverse layup doesn't go, but the follow-up inside does go. That time for Latrey Russell.
Cannot forget about the follower, and Russell just walked down the lane there and scooped that one back in.
3-point ball game. Spartans up on top. 3-ball doesn't fall for Reggie Johnson this time. Russell, long jumper, in and out. Vinegar Dovis with the rebound. Back out to Short. Short down the lane, puts it off the glass. We're going to get a touch of the rim. I thought it might have been goaltending on the original shot.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. It looked like he missed the tip because he waited for it to come off the cylinder, and that's why he got jammed up under. Let's take another look at it right here as you see Short on the approach. Yeah. Now, Vinogrovatis right here tries to wait, and I don't know if he waited long enough. I think they got it right.
Still a 3-point game. Our officials tonight, Bill Covington, Ernie Prevost, and Haywood Bostic.
Norfolk State just poor on the box out there. Didn't really have any urgency to go get that rebound.
Spartans coming up the floor. Short. Short out of the Bronx, New York. Went to Kennedy High. Mass communications major who sat out last year after transferring. Kind of running the offense with Jamel Fuentes. Also a Brooklyn, New York product. Short pulls up for the J. It's off the mark. Rebound pulled down by Quentin Chivas. Chivas ahead. And the layup off the glass. An easy one for Brian Darden.
The old cherry picker, and that was great recognition from Darden because Short hit the deck. Darden knew they didn't need him to close off the follow of his miss. Thus, he scooted into the front court and got an easy one.
Two teams met during the regular season. Norfolk State came out victorious in both meetings, 63-60. That game was at Norfolk State, and then at Hampton, 80-69. Mickle played a role in both of those with big points for Hampton University. 19 in the first game, 24 in the second, but not seeing any action here tonight.
Rashid Gaston has checked into the game, Charlie. He does so with a big knee brace on the injured left knee, but he's going to play tonight. That changes things quite a bit.
Good to see him in the lineup. I'm sure Coach Robert Jones is happy with it as we get the basket inside by Fuentes. Ed Joyner's the coach of the Hampton Pirates in his 6th year, product of Johnson C. Smith University, and a foul in the backcourt by Short. Not the kind of foul you want to commit early on in this contest. Short, team's leading scorer, 25 points, 4 rebounds against South Carolina State.
Yeah, there's just no reason to reach in right there. He's going for the steal, obviously, but didn't have position. And you're right, just a careless foul.
And we get a foul at the other end. Looks like it's going to send Quentin Chivas to the free throw line.
And they'll get Thomas here trying to seal off the baseline, but unable to do it. So then he just had to hack Chivas. He got him high and low. Chivas rebounded nicely in the quarterfinal round. Had an exceptional game after he struggled mightily in the opening round for the Pirates.
You saw a shot of Robert Jones there as Chivas goes to the free throw line. We talked about the win, South Carolina State for Norfolk State, 68-54. In that game, they trailed by as many as 15 points in the first half, but trailed by only 1. They cut it to 1 at halftime. Here's Chivas at the line. First shot is good. Chivas out of Chicago, Illinois, grad student, went to Notre Dame Prep, transferred in here from Tennessee. Played 31 games in his career while at Tennessee. Had a 45% career field goal percentage average. Makes the second. And we have a 1-point ball game, 7-6.
You referenced that slow start for Norfolk State in their win in the quarterfinal round. I don't see that from them here tonight. They're moving quite a bit better than they did in the opening 10 minutes in that game.
Malik Thomas in the lineup. He has the ball in his hands for the Spartans of Norfolk State. Here's Gaston way out high. And Presley doesn't come out there with him. They're staying back in that zone defense.
Doesn't need to. Gaston doesn't have anything close to that range. That's not his game.
Pass underneath, though. They lost Malik Thomas on the backdoor cut in that one.
Good persistence from the Spartans there, just continuing to run the offense. And eventually they lulled Hampton to sleep. And you're right, they lost Thomas completely.
Ball dumped inside, baseline, outside. Here is the jumper by Reggie Johnson. Back at the iron, Presley tried to rebound, missed it. And here comes Fuentes up the floor. Over to Deshaun Taylor, back out to Thomas, down the lane. And I'm going to get a touch of the rim. And that was touched by Short underneath, and it's a timeout on the floor. 15:05 to go first half. 3-point ball game here. The winner goes on to the championship game tomorrow against the Hornets of Delaware State.
Surrounded on 3 sides by water, Hampton University is one of the most beautiful university settings you'll find anywhere. From our world-class research center to our dedication to the arts, we challenge our students to excel at the highest level. At Hampton, we're launching satellites that will better predict the weather. Researchers are involved in projects that will ease human suffering and save lives. Hampton University faculty, staff, and students are making a difference in the global community through service and science.
Hey, Megan, how's HSU?
I love it. You want to see?
We have great academic programs with professors who care. You can earn a degree and take classes on campus or online. We have a Division I athletics program. Friends you meet here, you'll know for the rest of your life. At Norfolk State University, your dreams are possible.
Let's go.
For the student-athletes of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, every day is a new opportunity to live, to laugh, to learn. Our 13-member institutions share one goal: to prepare our student-athletes for life after athletics. Because long after the last point is scored, after the clock hits 0, after the final whistle blows, life goes on, and we'll be there every step of the way. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, for students, for athletes, for life.
3-point ball game, 15:05 to go in the first half. Along with John Laser, I'm Charlie Neal here at the Scope in Norfolk. Semifinal action for the men for the MEAC. One team has already punched its ticket to the finals tomorrow in the championship game, and that is Delaware State, who knocked off the defending champ North Carolina Central earlier. On the women's side, it'll be UMES going against Savannah State. UMES a couple of upsets in the tournament. They knock off Hampton. They knock off Norfolk State. We've had some good games. Of course, they needed overtime. That is UMES before they advanced.
It's been a long day for the Norfolk State cheering contingent, band cheerleaders and everybody else, and got off on that sour note with that loss to UMES. But congratulations to the Hawks. They played a thorough game today in their first of 4, this being our last of 4.
They're going to call that one against
That's
Norfolk
huge right
State
there, Charlie.
against Malik Thomas.
No, I think they got Jeff Short. Maybe. No, you're right.
Malik Thomas with the moving pick. He comes out of the lineup. He's replaced by Jordan Butler for Norfolk State.
Jeff Short right there at the same time they blew that whistle was trying to fight through a screen and did so pretty vigorously. They blew the whistle and he acted as though he thought it was going to be on him. And Norfolk State, although they cough it up here on that foul and moving screen, are fortunate that wasn't the second on Short.
Okoroba has checked in, replacing Presley for Hampton University. That long jumper won't fall that time, and Short with the rebound into the front court now. Down low. The turnaround by Butler just doesn't fall. Just checked into the lineup. Can't get it to go. Cross court. Johnson down the lane. Up off the glass for two for Quentin Chivas.
Chivas taking it right at Rashid Gaston, testing out the big guy. He's looked pretty limber thus far, coming back from that knee.
Chivas looking good. 9 points, 8 rebounds in 2 games, 7 in the second game against Maryland Eastern Shore of this tournament. But from the corner, the 3-ball falls for Short.
And that's what Short can do. He can score from anywhere. He's not squared up. His feet are flailing. He's all the way off balance, and he still cans it.
Coming back the other way, Short had 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists against South Carolina State. He has the ball in his hands right now for the Spartans, and he also has 3 points, 1 for 1 from 3-point range. Down on the baseline, and that is going to be a foul against Okoroba.
And that is just a persistent effort there from Deshaun Taylor. This would not be denied down in the post, despite the fact that he gives up a huge amount of size to Okoroba.
Okoroba, number 5 there, the redshirt senior out of Garland, Texas. Did not score against Maryland Eastern Shore the other night. Did grab 2 rebounds, had 4 points against Morgan in that 91-71 win, along with 2 rebounds in that game. New subs coming into the Hampton lineup. Karan Brown replaces Ron Johnson. Meanwhile, at the free throw line for Norfolk State, Deshaun Taylor. And he makes both free throws, and it's a 6-point advantage. Powers. Zone defense now by Norfolk State. Okoroba back to Brown. Down the lane with the left hand, it goes.
The outside shot's not falling for Hampton, and that's why they're trailing, but of late they've been able to find the seams in this zone.
Hampton 4 of 11 in field goals today, shooting 36% is short. His foul. Short will go back to the free throw line. An 83% free throw shooter. Second leading scorer in the conference and 3rd in free throw percentage. And he's a little banged up. Looks like he's grabbing his left ankle, and he kind of limps up to the free throw line.
Yeah, I'd imagine he's a little used to being banged up because he throws his body around with reckless abandon on those drives and on the defensive end as well. So I would have no doubt that he'll shake that right off.
Redshirt junior continues to put points on the board for the Spartans. Jeff Short.
You look at it again, Charlie. That's a pretty dramatic turn of the ankle. And it is the prototypical stepping on the top of the foot, but he's hobbling a little bit.
And he's
trying to
hobbling
run
back
it
down
off
the floor, and I think they're going to pull him out. He looked over at the bench to Coach Robert Jones and said, hey, bring me out for a minute. So they've got to get a substitution in here for him quickly.
Yeah, they do, and you see that substitute sitting at the scores table or squatting at it. Short's trying to gamely play through it and just run off the pain.
Inside, we're going to get a foul. Now Short's going to go to the sideline, and he'll have a substitution coming in for him. When we come back, he'll be replaced by Devontae Banner. Short, he's been Mr. Offense for the Spartans. They lead it by 6. This Hampton team has won 4 MEAC tournaments: 2001, 2002, 2006, and 2011. Steve Murfield won 2. Bobby Collins won, and of course Buck Joyner, the coach of the Spartans, I should say the Pirates rather, right now, hoping to make it another one. The last time was 2011.
Just saw a shot of Jeff Short there sitting on the Norfolk State bench, and it's a good sign. You see him again. He's right there in between all the assistant coaches behind Coach Robert Jones. That's a good place if you're looking for a player to return. And there he is. We just saw him rolling out that ankle, and I think he'll be returning pretty soon here. He's not down at the end of the bench in the training area.
Backcourt pressure, 10-second violation. They didn't get it across in time.
What the absence of Dwight McKeel has done is forced Hampton at times to go a little bit smaller, but what that does is it makes them quicker, and it makes them more capable of supplying things like we just saw, that full court pressure. They've used that effectively in each of their last 2 wins.
Deron Powers now running the offense. Starts to move inside, changes his mind. Zanai Robinson in the lineup now for Norfolk State, and he gets the rebound of the missed shot. Here's a steal. Here's Brown going in, and he is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line, and Deshaun Taylor picks up the foul. Brown taking it coast to coast. Karan Brown.
And really didn't need to commit the foul right there, because the trail defender had done a nice job sealing off the lane. So the only option that Karan Brown had was to go to the basket, and even without the foul, it was going to be a difficult conversion for him there.
12 points in 2 games in the tournament for Karan Brown, the junior, out of Savannah, Georgia, who's ranked 6th in the conference in steals. So does the job on the defensive end. He doesn't necessarily do a great job on the offensive end, but you have to have those role players.
Without question, and the defense, as we've seen throughout this tournament, is every bit as impactful as the offense is.
2-point ball game right now. Pressure, and it's a kick ball. Still 28 seconds on the shot clock. Coming back into the lineup for Norfolk State is Jamel Fuentes.
And Short's back out there too, so a great sign for Norfolk State.
And he replaces Devontae Bonner. Robinson in the lineup right now. Zanai Robinson, freshman out of Duluth, Georgia. So it didn't touch any defender. Went right off the hands of Short. One of the things we see Robert Jones playing a lot of people today. He's gone deep in his bench. And right now, Jordan Butler is in that lineup for defensive purposes. A big man in the middle. Along the baseline is cut off. Charles Wilson Fisher in the lineup now for Hampton University. And here we have a turnover into the front court. Here's Robinson over to Fuentes. Down the lane, pulls up. It's good.
Defense turns into offense, and what this 2-3 zone is doing is denying Deron Powers the ability to slash in, which he's been able to do against the man-to-man, and that creates everything else for the offense. And as I say that, he's able to slice to the elbow and knock down the jumper.
Yeah, he did. Deron Powers with that too. And it's a 2-point ball game, 18-16, down to the 10-minute mark of the first half.
That's really been the first time that Powers has been able to create for himself, and I think that's a big reason why they're in that zone.
Long jumper by Short doesn't fall, and it goes off in the hands of Charles Wilson Fisher. Just couldn't grab the rebound. Coming back into the Norfolk State lineup is Rashid Gaston, and that puts Jordan Butler on the bench right now.
Jeff Short thus far 1 of 4 from the field, and we saw him get off to a slow shooting start in that victory in the quarterfinal round, but then just like a light switch, he got turned on and seemingly was burying everything he looked at.
Javon Presley back into the lineup for Hampton, and Buck Joyner replacing Okoroba. This foul is going to be whistled against Karan Brown. For Hampton University, that is foul number 5. Both teams with 5 team fouls. We're in the first half here, 18-16, semifinal action, this MEAC tournament.
And just trying to fight through the screen around there.
Robinson dumps it inside. Little baby hook falls for Rashid Gaston.
You'll remember the keys, Charlie. I said Presley can't leave the building, and it's not that Jervon Presley has played poorly thus far in this first half. It's the fact that he hasn't been a man possessed like he was in eliminating Myers against UMES as Wilson Fisher draws a foul.
And we'll go to the free throw line. Wilson Fisher. 10 points, 8 rebounds and a block in game number 1. 5 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists in game number 2. So 15 points and 18 rebounds in 2 games for Charles Wilson Fisher, freshman out of Los Angeles, California.
And he runs the floor tremendously well. And he has been the large reason why Hampton has been able to advance into the semifinal round. Not because he's playing bulk minutes, but because he's allowing them to operate without, of course, their star, Dwight McKeel.
Second free throw is good, making 1 of 2. As a team, Hampton University shooting 63% from the free throw line. That ranks them 10th in the conference out of 13 teams in that department. On the other side, 66% for Norfolk State. And a foul going against Hampton University. Shooting foul. Going to the free throw line is Latrey Russell, senior out of Chicago, Illinois. 4 points for him in the tournament so far in the 1 game. Gets the first of 2 to fall. He is a 74% free throw shooter. He has 3 points in the ball game. Under 9 minutes in this one. Second one falls through. So the lead is 5 once again. Biggest lead tonight for Norfolk State has been 6. Hampton has led in this ball game. They led it 2-0. So we've had only 1 lead change. Game has not been tied at all, but we get a basket at the other end. That's going to put Quentin Chivas at the free throw line. Chivas, a grad student out of Chicago, Illinois, Notre Dame Prep.
And you'll see this is created by the penetration along the baseline from Darden, because both Gaston and Latrey Russell go up to try to block his shot. That leaves nobody there to block out Chivas. So he grabs the easy rebound. And then out of frustration of missing Darden and giving up the second chance, Gaston late to try to deny that shot and adds the foul to it.
Transferred from Tennessee. In grad school, played 31 games while a student at Tennessee. 2-point ball game. Completes the 3-point play. And hitting the floor hard and in pain.
Chivas got knocked to the deck by Gaston. Gaston just throwing his weight around, and they'll get Gaston for that foul, Charlie. And that's 2 quick fouls picked up by Gaston.
So coming back into the lineup for Norfolk State.
Here's another look at it here as Gaston just trying to body up Chivas, and he throws the wing there.
Gregory Davis is back into the Norfolk State lineup.
Crowd was calling for the flop there as they watched it on the video board. Folks, when a guy flops, he doesn't try to break his hip.
He sure doesn't. Or dislodge the floorboards.
That's the highlight there. What that emphasized is the fact that Rashid Gaston is a strong man, and it doesn't necessarily take a whole heap of contact to knock a guy to the deck, even as one as strong as Chivas.
He He hits the front end. He has 8 points, 4 for 4 at the line.
Yeah, look at that. See, and he's up in the air, too.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
That's no flop.
And he actually caught his knee. That's what he banged on the floor, not the hip, the knee. So very painful for Chivas. You see him still grimacing there. I do need to point out, by the way, that they gave that foul to Gaston. I said it was 2, and it wasn't. They actually gave the foul on the attempted block on the other end, when also Chivas, to Taylor instead. Or excuse me, to LaTre Russell instead.
Second free throw doesn't fall. 1-point ball game, though.
But importantly, Gaston still only has just the 1 foul.
22-21. Here's Short. 8 minutes left in the first half. Semifinal action from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. Underhanded real layup with Fuentes down the lane.
And that's too easy. That lane just widened. There was nobody past the preliminary line of defense there.
Down the lane, Powers puts it up, gets his own rebound. Inside, almost taken away. Outside again, they'll set it up again. Travel is the call on Chivas. He was too anxious. He saw it wide open and was too anxious and shuffled his feet. Timeout on the floor, 3-point lead. Spartans over the Pirates of Hampton.
We are the heart of the Virginia waterfront.
We tend to travel quite a bit by boat around the area.
You have to travel on the Spirit of Norfolk at least once.
Got the Atlantic Ocean, the Chesapeake Bay, the Elizabeth River, the Lafayette River, and the Intercoastal Waterway that all come together about 200 yards away from us right now.
You can go fishing, you can take kids playing.
You can go paddleboarding, you can go sailing, swimming, kayaking even.
You got surfing.
Sunsets are amazing.
The list goes on and on. Visit Norfolk and come get an experience that you haven't had.
You can have it. Just live life, love, and love the life you have to live. Reach far and big or small, 'cause you can have it all. Just live the life you love, 'cause you can have it all.
7:28 to go. This arena, the Scope, holds over 10,000. They're pretty close to capacity here tonight for this Battle of the Bay between Norfolk State and Hampton University. The winner goes to the championship game against Delaware State tomorrow. 3-point ball game and 3-point lead for Norfolk State, who beat Hampton twice during the regular season. And the question always comes up, can you beat a team 3 times? And you never like to find out, do you?
No, you really don't. The conference, however, wins out here, of course, with this outstanding rivalry being on display. The two essentially home schools here, bringing out their local fan bases.
The jumper, that one falls for Deshaun Taylor.
That's difficult to convert right there because you're moving diagonally away from the basket and still able to square it up.
Outside, the shot. This one will fall down for Reggie Johnson. Reggie Johnson now 33 points in 2 meetings coming into this game. He has 4 tonight. Short is short. .620 to go. Reggie Johnson pulls up inside the 3-point circle and buries the 2.
Like so many shooters, he's a streak shooter, and he can certainly tell when he's heating up. That wasn't necessarily a low degree of difficulty shot, but when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
6 points for him, 3 for 5 shooting for Reggie Johnson. Outside shot for Jordan Butler. And that falls.
Timeout taken by the Norfolk State Spartans on that make. And I'll tell you again on Javon Presley, he's not playing with the same amount of energy that he did. And you can understand because he got all geeked up for that matchup with Mike Myers. But he's got responsibilities tonight. Now, this is not a shot that's going to burn you all the time from Butler, the big man. But you see Presley there on the replay, just not there to contest it or make it difficult whatsoever. And it basically becomes a free throw.
3-point ball game. Norfolk State over Hampton University. 5:52 the time remaining in the first half here. When these two teams met earlier in the season, it was a Norfolk State victory on January 31st. And Norfolk State won at home 63-60. And then on March 5th, last game of the regular season, game played down at Hampton University. And it was an 80-69 victory, an 11-point win for the Spartans. But anytime these two teams get together, there's always going to be some bragging rights on the line just because they are so close together. They're neighbors. Kids know each other very well, probably play together a lot. Powers trying to go inside against Fuentes. He'll go to the free throw line. It's a 1-on-1 situation. 19 fouls against Norfolk State.
This 2-3 zone has been very effective at limiting Deron Powers' ability to penetrate. He, because of that, has no assists. The other side of that is the fact that nobody's knocked down shots when he's distributed the basketball. But he's so quick that you can never let up on him for a second. And that's what happened there as he got the foul drawn.
Hits a pair of free throws. Makes it a 1-point ball game once again. Powers with 3 points, 2 of 2 at the line tonight. .520 remaining first half. Taylor to Fuentes. To Taylor against his nemesis Reggie Johnson. They get the offensive board. Short down the lane. Why would he throw that one in there? He would have been better off taking the shot. Chivas, he is fouled. He'll go to the line. A lot of action going on under there. Chivas says, I got to take a break here.
Yeah, Chivas is one that seeks the contact. We've seen that all throughout the tournament. I believe I called him a bull in a china shop back in their first game and win. Came back and played under much more composure, with much more composure in the second game, and he actually got poked in the eye there.
But his teammate did more damage, Okoroba, to him, seemed like,
yeah, he did,
than anybody else.
Friendly fire hurts just as badly, but Chivas has really rounded into form over the last couple of games. But back to that shot, you're right. Why would he throw it in there? I'm a little bit stunned that Jeff Short didn't pull up on that shot. And to be quite honest, since he rolled that ankle, he appears to be moving around okay, but he's been a little bit more timid than he generally is. That's a shot he pulls up and takes about 99% of the time.
I was going to say that was a wide open shot he could have made, as this free throw ties the ball game at 28.
Potentially he's just not feeling the stroke as we get an offensive foul here against Russell, fighting for position down on the block. But back to Jeff Short. Potentially when you're a shooter and you're not feeling confident in the lift that you're getting up off the floor. Again, just a hesitant half a second, and that changes everything.
You look at Russell sitting on the bench now with 3 fouls in the ball game with 4:45 to go. So, of course, Coach Robert Jones don't want to take a chance of him fouling out or getting a 4th foul before halftime. Powers in the lane, no good. Offensive board, the put back by Okoroba is good. And Hampton regains the lead, 30-28.
You would have told me Hampton would have the lead with 4.5 left to go in the half without making a 3. I would not have believed you.
Fuentes. Jumper, no good. Okoroba rebounds.
Without Short facilitating and Gaston in the middle, this Norfolk State offense is certainly a little out of sync.
Chivas. Quentin Chivas. And it's a 4-point lead for Hampton University, the number 6 seed, over the number 2 seed. I say it's a crosstown rival, but it's not crosstown. It's a tunnel that separates the two.
I don't want to talk about that tunnel, Charlie.
Takes forever to get through it, doesn't it?
It does.
32-28 our score here from the Scope. 32-28 our score. Norfolk State had a 5-point lead, 26-21, then scored their last basket almost 3 minutes ago to go up 28-25. But since they had that 5-point lead, it's been an 11-2 run by the Hampton Pirates, and they lead it by 4 right now. Meanwhile, Jeff Short going to the free throw line for Norfolk State to try to put some points on the board. He has 6 in the game and misses a free throw. A rare miss for him in that department. 32-29. He made 1 of 2. Johnson pulls up for the jumper, in and out. Defensive board. Deshaun Taylor with that rebound. Short in the lane. Did pass it off. Vigor Rabovas is in the lineup right now. Down to 3:05 before halftime. Fuentes looking inside. They do get it inside. Vigor Radovas had a problem there. You can't miss chip shots.
No, you can't, not particularly when you're that patient and you work the ball around against this Hampton half-court defense and you get that good of a look.
That's like missing a half-foot putt.
Yeah, that's like missing it after someone says it's a gimme and then them making you counter.
Vigor Radovas checking out. Coming back into the lineup, Rasheed Gaston for Robert Jones and Norfolk State. Short will inbound the ball to Fuentes.
Yeah, Gaston is gamely giving it a go tonight, but clearly not at 100%. I say clearly just because of the amount of minutes he's played or lack thereof.
Jordan Butler also in the lineup. Almost lost it. Turn around. Good with the left hand.
And when he's in there, he's still impressive, but he's limited as to how long those stretches can be. Norfolk State and Robert Jones sensing that this was a stretch they needed him for as they had fallen behind.
2.5 to go before the break. 1-point ball game in the corner. This one doesn't go. That's time for Chivas. Fuentes dumps it inside again. No good. Follow up. Butler. Jordan Butler, the follow, the miss by Gaston.
And everything changes with Gaston in there offensively.
But Chivas at the other end, and we got a foul. 2 players or no foul. They just said they tangled up.
And they tangled up, so they're just going to separate them and restart. That basket is good for Hampton to give them the lead right back. Presley's going to come back onto the floor for Hampton.
There's a lot going on after the ball went through. Butler and Okarova going at it down on the floor. We got a hold inside. That'll be the 8th team foul against Hampton.
They got Darden there trying to slow Short, trying to rub off a screen.
Breon Key. Thought he was coming in.
And so did he.
Yeah, he was at the scores table.
I'm ready, Coach.
They blew the horn. He came in, and Buck Joyner had a change of heart. And again, that's uncharacteristic of Short, missing free throws, especially the front end of a 1-and-1, how important they are.
84% from the line.
Presley along the baseline. No good. Swatted away. Deron Powers can't get it to fall.
You see the impact of Gaston there, repelling that shot eventually from Chivas.
In the lane, Fuentes, no good. Back up, still won't go. And it goes off the hands.
Once again, a missed golden opportunity for Norfolk State.
I'm not sure if whose hands it went off here, but look at the end. I wasn't sure which way the official was calling it. It went off of Fuentes.
It did. And Butler, you could see his reaction coming back off that miss. He was furious with himself.
Well, they missed a lot of chip shots right there. They had a great opportunity to regain the lead. The 1-point ball game right now, and Chivas can't handle the pass inside.
And Presley just trying to do too much there and make the perfect pass inside. The rate of success on this is so low, particularly when you're a post rather than a guard. You can see the window that he saw, and had he gotten it through, he would have said, whoa, what a look.
Yeah.
But again, it's a chance that you're taking.
The difference between Peyton Manning and Peyton's son.
Right now, he might turn into a good one.
Chivas with that rebound ahead. Inside. Can't fall. It will not fall that time for Brian Darden. Under a minute to go. 4 seconds between the shot clock, game clock, and a 1-point ball game here at the Scope in Norfolk. Short holding it high. Short looking for Fuentes. Fuentes down the lane, bump, puts it up, no good. And Chivas gets it out somehow to Powers. Powers still on the run, and he is fouled with 11 seconds to go.
And Chivas back on the other end continues to just bear the brunt of this physical battle tonight. He's laying flat on the ground, face down.
He's a car wreck every time he comes out, isn't he?
He is. He just seeks collisions and seems to find them on both ends of the floor. Another word for that is just a gritty player, because he's listed as a guard. He's undersized, but he's essentially playing the power forward, re-racking the razzle-dazzle from Powers, leading to the foul on the other end. But that's the mentality that Hampton brought with them the other night. That's why they won, and starting to see that again here tonight.
Hampton with a 2-point advantage, 35-33. When he's, that is, you're talking about Chivas, you have to close all lanes of the freeway when he goes out there, don't you?
Yeah, you do. He closes down the tunnel daily.
Powers hits a pair of free throws. (36-33). Under 10 seconds to go. That looked like a mismatch or a mess up. Fuentes goes inside, puts it up, won't fall, and that's been the problem down the stretch here for the Norfolk State Spartans. They've had problems hitting some chip shots. They are 12 of 28 from the field. As you look at Dr. Harvey, the president of Norfolk State, I should say Hampton University, rather, his team up by 3 at halftime. Your thoughts in the first half so far, Don?
I think both teams are going to go to the locker room and say, okay, we didn't play our best half, but we like where we are. Norfolk State trailing in this game by 3, but again, they've missed bunny after bunny down the stretch, and Jeff Smith hobbled a little bit by that rolled ankle. I think he's going to be okay and excel in the second half. Meanwhile, the Pirates are feeling pretty good because they have the lead. They've gotten there without a 3-point make, and they've done that because they've systematically challenged that 2-3 zone. They're doing it and having success in a completely different way than we saw them succeed in their first 2 rounds, and that's obviously why Robert Jones game planned it this way, but they started to figure that out. So again, both teams are feeling okay with where they are right now, but again, both would have liked to do more. This is going to depend tonight, the outcome, on what adjustments we see and then how the teams react to those halftime adjustments. So a lot of onus right now on the coaches and what they strategize for the second half, because this seems to be a pretty evenly matched ball game.
And of course, the rebound edge goes to the Norfolk State Spartans, but right now they've struggled right inside, making easy shots. As we see some early long shots falling for them, but at the other end, Hampton University also done what they needed to do to take a 36-33 lead at halftime. And of course, we're at the MEAC tournament. A lot of activity surrounding the tournament this week, including the induction to 4 new Hall of Famers. Got a chance to spend some time with one of them, Antoine Bethea, former football player at Howard University, now making his mark felt in the NFL with the San Francisco 49ers.
Surrounded on three sides by water, Hampton University is one of the most beautiful university settings you'll find anywhere. From our world-class research center to our dedication to the arts, we challenge our students to excel at the highest level. At Hampton, we're launching satellites that will better predict the weather. Researchers are involved in projects that will ease human suffering and save lives. Hampton University faculty, staff, and students are making a difference in the global community through service and science.
Hey, Megan, how's NSU?
I love it. You want to see?
We have great academic programs with professors who care. You can earn a degree and take classes on campus or online. We have a Division I athletics program. Friends you meet here, you'll know for the rest of your life. At Norfolk State University, your dreams are possible.
Let's go.
For the student athletes of the Mideastern Athletic Conference, every day is a new opportunity to live, to laugh, to learn. Our 13-member institution share one goal: to prepare our student athletes for life after athletics. Because long after the last point is scored, after the clock hits zero, after the final whistle blows, life goes on, and we'll be there every step of the way. The Mideastern Athletic Conference, for students, for athletes, for life.
Everything is on the line at the 2015 Mideastern Athletic Conference Basketball Tournament. Watch your favorite men's and women's basketball teams battle their way through the brackets with a ticket to the big dance up for grabs. A champion will rise and the rest will fall. Get your tickets today at meachoops.com, member institutions, and Ticketmaster. The 2015 MEAC Basketball Tournament, March 9th through the 14th at Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. No do-overs, no second chances, no mercy.
Team is not something you do alone. Team is plural. Team is arms, legs, blood, sweat, and soul. A lot goes into team. But what we take away stays with us forever.
I'm joined by former Howard University football star, now a member of the San Francisco 49ers, Antoine Bethea, inducted today into the MEAC Hall of Fame. You had to feel pretty good. You know, when you went to Hampton, I should say Ham, I'm messing with you again like I did your buddy today. When you went to Howard University, you ever feel and think that this day would come?
Not really, man. I will, you know, when I first walked onto Howard's campus, man, it was all about continuing to play football and to get an education. You know, I never really thought that, you know, go on to play with the Indianapolis Colts, go on to win a Super Bowl, 3 Pro Bowls, and now being inducted to the MEAC Hall of Fame. I would be lying if I said I thought that would be happening when I walked onto Howard's campus.
10 years in the National Football League coming up this season. Talk about longevity, how you've been able to maintain and stay healthy, because normally the average career is about 4 years. Yeah, man, it's all about consistency. You know, it's all about mastering your craft. So whatever it is, whatever your routine is, on the field, off the field, man, stick to it. And, you know, that's what I've been doing. You know, taking care of my body, eating right, working out, and just keeping that in mind. You grew up right down the road in Newport News, went to Denby High. How'd you get out of this area? How did they let you go? You know, I wasn't recruited by Hampton. Coach Petty was a recruit me at Norfolk State when he was coaching there as a defensive coordinator. And when he got the head coaching job at Howard, man, he came over and asked me, you know, would I be willing to go to Howard University? Man, I took a visit there and I loved it, and that was it. Talk about the highlight of your career as you see it as a pro football player. I would have to say 2 instances. Of course, being drafted. You know, having your name called on that draft day. You know, it's a lot of young men that play this game that would love to have their name called on that draft day. And then secondly, it would be Super Bowl 41. It's not too many people that play this game that can say they have a Super Bowl ring. And for me to be able to get that in my rookie year, it was a blessing. Plus, you were a basketball player in high school. You wound up on the football field in college, and you said earlier today, not many 5'9" players are going to play in the NBA, right?
Right. And that's what my coach said. He said, "Look, man, you're a good, you're a solid basketball player, but you're 5'9". You're not scoring 30 points a game. So on that football field, you're doing some things. So you might want to focus more on that on the football, and that's what I did."
New coach coming into the 49ers this year. What do you expect?
Expect big things. Regardless of what's going on, man, we have a job to do, and our job is to win. And with the guys that we have coming back, I'm pretty sure we all gonna have the same intensity, the same goal in mind, and that's to win. And that's to go to get the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is in Santa Clara this year, so hopefully we could be that team to
play at home.
To play at home.
All right, Antoine Bethea, inductee this morning into the MEAC Hall of Fame. Not only that, a member of the San Francisco 49ers and a proud alum of Howard University.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, and we'll be back with more from the Scope in just a moment. .36-33 our score at halftime. The Hampton Pirates trying to hold off the Spartans of Norfolk State. Gene Marshall, athletic director at Hampton University. You have to feel good about what your team has done, especially in light of the fact that you lost twice rather, I should say, during the regular season to this Norfolk State team.
We feel pretty good, Mr. Neal. I mean, I think that the guys have been really playing with a lot of passion and a lot of purpose the last two games, and they started out in the first half the same way.
When you look also, it has to be a little disappointing that your ladies got eliminated and not in the championship game. Would be the first time in 5 years that somebody other than Hampton University has won this MEAC tournament on the ladies' side.
Yes, but you know, UMAS did a great job. We didn't play well that particular day, but we are playing in the WNIT. And now it's for the men's time to step up and see if they get the championship game and carry the Hampton banner on.
You have been at Hampton a short time, and when you look at what's happening on campus in athletics, what is your vision from the perspective in your position?
What we're trying to do is to continue to build leaders and champions. And we're going to provide our student athletes with the best possible experience, resources, education, world-class experience, and so that when they graduate, not only winning championships, but they graduate better people and they go out and serve our nation.
Of course, what are the big adjustments you think you've had to make coming in?
Well, first of all, the weather. I'm used to the Jersey, and it seems that the snow followed me. The only adjustment is being down in Virginia as opposed to being in the New York metropolitan area. The people have been great. The student athletes and the coaches have been very cooperative. And as we move our vision forward to provide the best possible resources and opportunity for our student athletes, you know, we're really excited about what we can do.
Of course, in terms of recruiting, spring ball in football is just right around the corner.
Yes, we started a couple of days before spring break. They'll start again on Monday. I'm excited about what Coach Maynard's doing this year. We've revamped the football team, revamped our staff, our defensive staff. And I'm excited. There's a lot of excitement, buzz around campus. Our spring game will be on April 3rd, and we're really looking forward to some good things.
I was recruiting for him this year.
Oh, it's been excellent. You know, we have some folks that came down from FBCS. We have some great new freshmen that will be coming in the fall. And our returning players have a lot more excitement because last year he came in January. Now he has a whole cycle of his system, and they really bought in, and they've been working out in the weight room, and it really is going to show come this fall.
Well, I know it's just a matter of time before Cornell Maynard turns that program around.
No question, no question.
All right, Eugene Marshall, athletic director at Hampton University, his team up at the halftime here in this semifinal game from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia over the Spartans of Norfolk State. Back with more from the Scope and the semifinal action in just a moment.
The final care professionals at J.T. Fisher Funeral Services offer unique opportunities for families to create healing moments in a time of loss. They are leaders in their profession, adhering to the highest level of integrity. This is why J.T. Fisher and his staff are dedicated to excellent service. Funeral services are as unique as life itself. Put your trust in the hands of caring, experienced professionals. J.T. Fisher Funeral Services. jtfisherfuneralservices.com.
Retool Your School is back, and the Home Depot is giving away more grant money to more schools for more campus improvements. For the first time ever, 3 HBCUs will receive $50,000 grants. Vote today at retoolyourschool.com.
For the student athletes of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, every day is a new opportunity to live, to laugh, to learn. Our 13-member institutions share one goal: to prepare our student athletes for life after athletics. Because long after the last point is scored, after the clock hits 0, after the final whistle blows, life goes on, and we'll be there every step of the way. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, for students, for athletes, for life.
Back here at the Scope, 36-33. Spartans trailing. The Battle of the Bay. Third time it's a charm, hopefully for the Spartans. But for Hampton University, they have other ideas right now going into the second half. They don't want it to be 3 times that they've lost to the Spartan team in the season.
Yeah, you know what? They, at this point, came into this game thinking about those first 2 losses. Probably right now they could care less. They're just eyeing up these 20 minutes that remain. And like we said, Charlie, when we talked at the end of the first half, you can see this one swinging either way depending on the adjustments that either side makes.
As we start the second half, Norfolk State gets the ball. Fuentes dumps it inside. They lose the basketball, and it's a turnover. And they're going to call a foul inside on the steal.
And they got the foul on Fuentes there. But Charlie, did you notice that battle on the other end? An eventual shot block. Jervon Presley was really getting into Rasheed Gaston, and then still had the ability to come through the lane to block the shot. And that's more what you're looking for from Presley. I have to imagine he received a message from Buck Joyner at the half.
What did Buck Joyner say to his team at half?
Well, again, I think he said, look, we adjusted nicely to what they're doing against the 2-3 zone, but we just need to be a little bit more tenacious like we were in that second half in our quarterfinal win, and particularly Jervon Presley. As we saw in that game, he has the ability to impact the game in multiple ways, and we really didn't see it in the first half, but we already did twice on the first possession here in the second.
How about Robert Jones and Norfolk State side as Presley puts that one up no good?
I think he's just saying, guys, what we want to do is working. It's working on the offensive end, but you've just got to execute. You know, there's no coaching for shots not falling. And Norfolk State's gotten to the doorstep so often, just haven't been able to finish.
Malik Taylor starting the second half in the lineup in place of Vinogradovas, who started the game early in the first half. Thomas over left side. Deshaun Taylor. Shot clock at 6 seconds. Fuentes makes his move, spins, puts it up, no good. Shot clock violation, they call a foul. And it's going to stay here. This one is going to be against Rashid Gaston, I believe. Or is it going to be against?
I think they may have gotten that on Presley.
Maybe Presley, yeah.
Again, he and Gaston were engaged in that combat down there. And again, Presley going at Gaston quite a bit more aggressively. So they do get him for the foul here, but that's okay. I'll take that if I'm Buck Joyner.
Fuentes gives it off. Taylor can't get it to fall. New shot clock and an offensive rebound.
Out of position offensive rebound off the fortunate Karam from the bad miss.
21 rebounds for Norfolk State in this game. And a long rebound comes back out again inside. Nice play and missed. Rashid Gaston.
Well, if ever there was a play, Charlie, that epitomized what we were saying, he's yelling at himself right now saying, what are you doing? Because Norfolk State missed at least 4 by my count, bunnies or chippies, whatever you want to call them in the first half. This one is just an absolute gift. And Rashid Gaston looks that gift horse in the mouth as he misses the two-handed stuff. Norfolk State continues to struggle to put the biscuit in the basket. They trail the Pirates by 3.
Played almost 2 minutes here of the second half. Neither team has put any points on the board. Still where it was at halftime, 36-33. But not because of a lack of effort on either person's or team's part, as Presley turns around and the follow by Chivas.
Once again, Chivas finds his way into the fray off the Presley miss. But again, Presley so much more active on both ends here in the second half.
6-point lead now for Hampton University. Make it a 5-point lead, rather. 38-33 at the other end. Make it 40-33, and it's a 7-point lead. And going to the free throw line will be Brian Darden.
Hampton really struggled to get their guards involved from a slashing and penetrating standpoint in the first half due to that zone. This is one way to get them going, and that's out in transition. Off the steal from short, Darden takes it the rest of the way.
Zanai Robinson has checked in for Jamel Fuentes. Jamel Fuentes, a senior out of Brooklyn, New York. Zanai, a true freshman out of Duluth, Georgia, as Darden completes the three-point play. And it's the biggest lead that Hampton has enjoyed today. A 7-point advantage. Again, Norfolk State has not scored, and they've turned the ball over once again here in the second half.
And Gaston was very upset with Zanai Robinson right there. The miscommunication. Looked over and shouted at his coach Robert Jones on the bench.
Presley holding it out high. Deron Powers running the offense. Here's Brian Darden looking for a setup pick from Chivas or Presley. Powers inside. And it's all Quentin Chivas right now and the Hampton Pirates who've built their lead to 9.
It's just the will from Quentin Chivas. He's obviously athletically gifted, but he gives up so much size there and just won't back down.
Make it 10. They've built their lead to 10. 43-33. And a whistle. Short.
Jeff Short continues to get beaten up a little bit tonight. Nothing malicious intended there. Darden almost stepped on him, but that's just because he was about to fall. He got a shot from Presley there.
Darden commits the foul for Hampton and the Pirates. Second foul on Darden. Short at the free throw line for the Spartans of Norfolk State with his 7th point of the night. He is 4 for 6 at the stripe. Makes them both. Eight-point game. That was the first basket, or points, I should say, in the second half as Chivas goes inside.
And one of the fans behind me shouting, "You can't let him get there, Charlie," and he's absolutely right. That's the problem right now. It's not the effort once the ball is already in the post. You cannot allow a guy, particularly an undersized guy like Chivas, take you to the block like that and allow him to get the basketball, because right here you're already in trouble. And Chivas is quick enough to make you pay once you've already had that entry pass supplied.
Chivas 1 point away from his season high of 18 points against Florida A&M. He has 17 in the game already. And he does.
At the end of the first half, I said Hampton's doing it a completely different way than they did the first 2 rounds, and they absolutely are. They're pounding the post here today, and it's guys like Chivas who are getting it done. And of course, it was so guard-oriented the first 2 rounds where it was all penetration and kick-based. And this is just a good basketball team adjusting to a different defense that Norfolk State has shown them tonight.
Chivas had 13 points at the half. He has 18 in the game so far. That's 5 here in the second half. And he has already tied his season high in terms of point production. This one rolls in. He has 19, a season high for him. And his team has a 10-point lead once again, 45-35. Hampton University trying to punch their ticket to the championship game, where they will face a team that won earlier today. They'll face the Hornets of Delaware State. That's goaltending. Excuse me. Credit that basket to Zanai Robinson, the freshman out of Georgia, Duluth, Georgia. 45-37 to score. Hampton, they've been in control since halftime. They lead it by 8.
The final care professionals at J.T. Fisher Funeral Services offer unique opportunities for families to create healing moments in a time of loss. They are leaders in their profession, adhering to the highest level of integrity. This is why J.T. Fisher and his staff are dedicated to excellent service. Funeral services are as unique as life itself. Put your trust in the hands of caring, experienced professionals. J.T. Fisher Funeral Services. jtfisherfuneralservices.com.
Retool Your School is back, and the Home Depot is giving away more grant money to more schools for more campus improvements. For the first time ever, 3 HBCUs will receive $50,000 grants. Vote today at retoolyourschool.com.
For the student athletes of the Mideastern Athletic Conference, every day is a new opportunity to live, to laugh, to learn. Our 13-member institutions share one goal: to prepare our student athletes for life after athletics. Because long after the last point is scored, after the clock hits 0, After the final whistle blows, life goes on, and we'll be there every step of the way. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, for students, for athletes, for life.
In terms of fouls, 3 players for the Norfolk State Spartans with 3 personal fouls. Russell with 3, Thomas with 3, and Fuentes with 3. So a lot of time, and they have to be careful if they want to stay in this ball game, and especially Fuentes, a person who's very key to the success of this Norfolk State squad.
We saw that last bucket for Zanai Robinson, the freshman, and that's Robert Jones looking for a spark off of his bench.
Powers, front court, pulls up the jumper. It's short. There's the young freshman. He was speaking of Zanai Robinson. Last year in high school at Duluth High, he averaged 13 points a game. 9 minutes so far in the tournament before tonight with no points, but has put up some points tonight for the Norfolk State Spartans. He has 2.
He's the mighty might. He's listed at 5'11". They took that measurement in elevator shoes.
He was standing on the elevator.
Either way, he's about 5'8", but he makes up for it with quickness, as we've seen. Presley's going to pick up a foul here. Once again engaging with Gaston.
Yeah, got swinging the arms down, and Gaston trying to make the move along the baseline. Presley goes to the sideline. He picks up his 2nd personal foul. Inbound pass coming from Taylor. Short, pulls up. Off the back of the iron, Chivas with the rebound.
It's another one that Short usually gets to go. You'll recall Norfolk State erased that big deficit by staying within themselves.
Knocked away by Gaston. We're talking about Chivas and what he's done tonight. 20 points, a season high. He also has grabbed 9 rebounds. His high in rebounds was 16. That came against Coppin State. So very possible getting a double-double.
Yeah, and you can see what Hampton's done. They've battled these bigs from Norfolk State and done it with the speed of Chivas.
Reverse layup doesn't fall, but Chivas,
there it is again,
gets the rebound and the putback for his 10th rebound of the night. He has a double-double, 4th one of the season.
You can just see his speed. He didn't get the bucket ultimately, but he's so impactful because of it.
Gaston with the little baby left-handed hook. Delaware State awaits the winner of this game for tomorrow's championship on the men's side. Savannah State and UMES will battle on the ladies' side for the championship. Neither of those teams have ever won a MEAC tournament. There's a 3-ball from the corner.
Just
from Reggie Johnson.
Just when you get a little sag from the Norfolk State defense, you get that kick to the corner, and Reggie Johnson makes you pay that way. So this Hampton team has become multi-dimensional, Charlie, and has really read and react what Norfolk State has been trying to set up in the half court well tonight. And that is why they are out in front by 9 points.
Again, Chivas with 20 points and 10 rebounds, only player for Hampton in double figures, and he's already surpassed, as I said, his season high, doing a great job. And then, of course, Reggie Johnson with that 3-ball is 1 of 3 from three-point land tonight, and he has 9.
And you could see the mistake there out of that zone look from Deshaun Taylor. He went to chase the wing, and that, of course, is the responsibility of the guard at the top of that formation, and that left Johnson all alone down in the corner. And Reggie Johnson there, he's literally taken the starting spot of Dwight McKeel. Hampton short-handed, but not short on ability.
Norfolk State 38% from the field right now, while Hampton is up its output from the field to 40%. Malik Thomas. And a foul is going to be whistled against Hampton University as Deshaun Taylor, the junior, out of Nassau in the Bahamas, is going to the free throw line. 16 points, 7 rebounds and a block shot against South Carolina State for Deshaun Taylor.
Look at it again, and Wilson Fisher commits this foul. He's got his hands and arms horizontal. He was upset with himself, and he should have been, because there was no need to foul Taylor there. Taylor was wildly coming in. Should have had a decent attempt at denying him the bucket without fouling there.
Missed both. Deshaun Taylor.
This is something you cannot do in a game like this, trailing as they do.
Norfolk State 9 of 13 at the free throw line. They've missed 4. Hampton has missed 3 from the stripe. Powers. Brown down the lane. The left-hander doesn't fall for him, and a rebound is grabbed by Jordan Butler. And he is fouled by Okoroba.
Brown found the seam there in that zone and looked like he was going to be able to get to the basket, but he just couldn't quite turn the corner at the end to finish off the play.
Norfolk State started their season 4-3, won 8 of their last 11 games. Hampton, on the other hand, started 0-2. They won 4 of their last 7. In fact, unfortunately, they dropped the last 2 regular season games. One of them was to this Norfolk State team. The other one was to Delaware State, a team that is advanced to the championship already. .39, 9-point ball game. Powers, the 3-ball, no good. Rebound pulled down by Taylor. Norfolk State now, short. Working the left side, goes in the lane, is going to pick up the foul against Hampton. That is their 6th team foul.
Powers on the other end forced that shot up. It's been a while since the game plan has dictated, or Norfolk State has given him an opportunity, and Smith trying to create, or should be Short trying to create on the other end. Just a nudge.
Turnover. Brown in his hands, goes in against Short and puts it up with the big fella coming down, Jordan Butler, challenging him.
I don't know how that went in past the block attempt of Butler. From our angle, Charlie, the basketball almost seemed to disappear behind the big hand of Butler and then somehow emerged and went in.
Now a foul on Reggie Johnson. 11-point lead now, which is the biggest lead that the Hampton Pirates have enjoyed today. They were down at halftime. I should say they led at halftime, 36-33. They were down at one point in the first half by 5. But since that time, they have come back and have done a good job of maintaining their lead and keeping Norfolk State at bay. Taylor at the free throw line. So far tonight, Taylor 2 for 4 from the stripe. He has 7 points. He also has 4 rebounds to go with those 7 points. First one is good for the young man who's a 66% three-point shooter, free throw shooter. Second one doesn't go, but Short with the rebound puts it up, still won't go. Short's just struggling here in the second half.
Spartans are as a whole. They just can't convert right now.
1 of 6 for Short today. Underneath the Brown, and he has it knocked away. And it's going to go the other way. Timeout on the floor, 10-point ball game. Semifinal action from the Scope in Norfolk. Winner takes on Delaware State tomorrow for the MEAC championship and a chance to go to the big dance.
can't really assess the game like this, but Norfolk State, just quite frankly, is playing like crap.
They what?
It's playing like crap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Hard to break that down. Just doing stupid stuff.
Lead for Hampton University. Last won the MEAC championship 2011. Norfolk State won it in 2012. We do know it won't be a repeat champion because North Carolina Central eliminated earlier by Delaware State, who last won it in 2005. And we get a foul away from the ball. Okaroba.
Yeah, they got Okaroba for holding Gaston, so that'll put Rashid Gaston on the line for a 1-and-1.
18 fouls for Hampton University. Gaston shooting 55% from the line. And so far tonight, this will be his first free throw attempt. He has 6 points. He has 2 rebounds. But remember, he didn't start the game. He had that knee injury suffered the other night against South Carolina State. It was questionable whether he was even going to be able to dress today, because at first they thought it was an MCL, but apparently with him in the lineup and playing like this, it was not as serious as they thought, thank goodness.
They're going to give no foul. That should have been. Wilson Fisher just got beat by Taylor there off the starting block, so to speak. Taylor read that bad miss from Gaston better. That should have been a foul, but Norfolk State will take the basketball instead.
Short will inbound. Fuentes gives off to Short. He'll take the 3, in and out. Things just not going from a hit underneath. It'll be Hampton University's ball. Good call. Haywood Bostic seeing that one.
It's been that kind of night for Norfolk State, and in particular Jeff Short. You know, that shot halfway down, and it's not as though he's going to hit that shot all the time, but how many times have I said tonight that's one he usually makes? Now 1 of 8 from the field.
Yeah, 8 points, 5 of them coming from the free throw line. And the one basket he got from the field was a 3-pointer.
Darden unable to get a good look to fall. And there's another bunny missed.
And that's the issues that Norfolk State has. And when they look back on this game, should they lose this, they'll look at all of those missed layups and easy chip shots that didn't fall for them.
Bottom line is this, and there's plenty of time for Norfolk State to do something about it with nearly 11 minutes to go. But if they lose this ball game, you hate to lose this way, particularly if it might end your chances to win this tournament. They're going to do it knowing that they did not play their best basketball, because they have not tonight.
And when you look at the seniors on this Norfolk State squad, you're looking at Jamel Fuentes, you're looking at Jeff Short, you're looking at Malik Thomas. All seniors. They will not be back next year. Latrey Russell, also a senior, along with Finna Gradovis, who's a senior. So quite a few seniors on this squad for Robert Jones. On the other side, Buck Joyner, he has just about everybody coming back. I don't think he loses anybody except maybe Chivas, who's in grad school in Okaroba. Everybody else will be returning to the powered lineup.
Travel there, clear as day for Deshaun Taylor, so the mistakes continue to mount, as do the turnovers for Norfolk State. Now Hampton on the other side, Charlie, and you're right, this is going to be a solid nucleus for Hampton coming back next year for Buck Joyner, but they've had opportunities to bury the Spartans in the second half, and they themselves haven't executed all that well either.
Well, one thing they have done a good job of protecting the basketball, only 5 turnovers for the Pirates compared to 10 for Norfolk State.
Norfolk State now in a 1-3-1 zone.
Under 10 minutes to go. There's Brown down low. Johnson had his shot blocked by Short. And from the corner.
Step out on the corner there, and that's difficult to cover at times in the 1-3-1 or any zone for that matter.
Brian Darden will check back in place of Teron Brown. Junior out of Savannah goes to the bench, and Darden out of Hampton's Phoebus High comes on. And it goes into Teron Powers Jr. from Williamsburg, Virginia, who was a Rookie of the Year in the MEAC a couple of years ago when he was a freshman. Darden's three, yes.
And that's the Hampton Pirate team that we saw in the first 2 rounds. And a careless, to say the least, turnover. Inexcusable for Norfolk State, botching the inbounds with no pressure. But my original thought, Teron Powers just slashing in, knowing where Darden is and kicking it out to him, and Darden just stroking the 3. Here it is again, wide open. Let's see if we can get another look, guys, at that turnover, because most in the arena had turned their heads.
Thinking the ball was going to come up the floor uncontested, and a block out of bounds by Rashid Gaston. Johnson will inbound the ball. 9:27 to go. Biggest lead of the night for Hampton University. It's a 12-point affair. And the long inbounds pass comes to Chivas. There's no backcourt in that situation. Of course, people don't know the rules.
No, they don't. There nearly was when I could see what they were looking at, and the fact that he kind of caught it halfway between, but you got to be all the way over then all the way back, and he clearly wasn't.
As a jump ball, alternating possession arrow. Russell had his hands on it. It'll stay on Hampton University's end with the held ball. Powers down the lane, challenged by Rashid Gaston. Here's Short. Short lays it in. That's the Short we know. And a timeout called by Coach Robert Jones. A 10-point ball game is the first 2-pointer by Jeff Short tonight. The only other field goal he had came from 3-point range. His other points came from the free throw line. He has 10 for the Norfolk State Spartans.
You said it right. That's the Jeff Short that we know. As defense becomes offense, Rashid Gaston really gets this started, and Short, rather than dishing it off, just takes it right to the bucket. And he says, if I miss this one, I'm heading to the locker room because it's not our night. Unfortunately for the Spartans, he doesn't.
Well, you have to think that when he made that basket, that may have built his confidence, because, again, you can sometimes get down on yourself when things are not going the way they're supposed to get and go, and all of a sudden all you need is something like that to kind of boost you up again.
And that's why Robert Jones took that timeout right there also, to let that confidence hopefully flow through this whole Spartans team, because there's still a long way to go in this semifinal.
Darden behind the back gets it back to Powers.
That's not the shot you want if you're the Hampton Pirates.
No, you don't want Javon Presley taking that from outside like that.
Particularly not that early in the shot clock.
Gaston along the baseline. Short jumper. No good. Chivas with the rebound. And it's going to be Norfolk State maintaining possession.
And Chivas had to wildly try to save that rebound. He's contesting that he took a forearm, which was helping to escort him off the baseline. Officials didn't see it that way.
Darden trying to run that one down, goes out of bounds with it. Norfolk State with the ball. The runner just doesn't fall. That time for Short. Darden running, pulls up the 3, no good. Fuentes rebounds for Norfolk State. Off to the left side, and a foul is going to be whistled against Powers. Norfolk State will go to the line for the 1-and-1, and this will be Jeff Short going to the strike.
Yep, clearly a foul there, just yanking at Jeff Short, but Jeff Short's reaction to the miss was just incredulous. He said, I can't believe this. I've been playing this game my whole life. These are academic buckets, and the crowd can't believe it either. Then on the other end, you don't expect Darden to miss that squared up wide open 3 either.
That's like burning your hard-boiled egg.
You don't think it's possible, right? 2 out of 13 from outside for Hampton. My point is, neither of those two teams are playing their best basketball right now.
And he just missed the front end of a 1-and-1, Jeff Short. 5 of 7 at the free throw line tonight.
I'm going to go home and try to burn a hard-boiled egg just for you. Take a blowtorch to it if I have to.
Under 8 minutes to go. That one, a long rebound comes into the hands of Powers. Darden from the other side. And no basket.
Darden got flattened there on that attempt, and he'll go to the line. A big closeout there attempted. We look at it one more time. Darden goes airborne. Deshaun Taylor goes with him. And it'll be Hampton Pirates at the line when we come back. 7:42 remaining in the second semifinal. The Pirates leading the Spartans by 10.
Surrounded on 3 sides by water, Hampton University is one of the most beautiful university settings you'll find anywhere. From our world-class research center to our dedication to the arts, we challenge our students to excel at the highest level. At Hampton, we're launching satellites that will better predict the weather. Researchers are involved in projects that will ease human suffering and save lives. Hampton University faculty, staff, and students are making a difference in the global community through service and science.
Hey, Megan, how's NSU?
I love it. You want to see?
We have great academic programs with professors who care. You can earn a degree and take classes on campus or online. We have a Division I athletics program. Friends you meet here, you'll know for the rest of your life. At Norfolk State University, your dreams are possible.
Let's go.
For the student athletes of the Mideastern Athletic Conference, every day is a new opportunity to live, to laugh, to learn. Our 13-member institution share one goal: to prepare our student athletes for life after athletics. Because long after the last point is scored, after the clock hits 0, after the final whistle blows, life goes on, and we'll be there every step of the way. The Mideastern Athletic Conference, for students, for athletes, for life.
Along with John Laser. Been a pleasure working all these games with you this week, John, and enjoyed it. It's been an exciting tournament. 2015 are his Prevost. Haywood Bostic on the right. The officials checking the monitor. I think they're trying to figure out possibly whether that was a 2 or 3 on that foul. Let's see.
We'll look at it again here, too. They're trying to figure out how many foul shots he should get, essentially, because he didn't make this shot. And it looks to me like he's behind him. Yeah.
Both feet are behind the line, so it would be 3.
Yep, and they just came out and signaled that. But back to your thought, Charlie, absolute privilege for me this week to work with you. I know you don't like hearing this, but a legend in this conference. And I've got to say, more than impressed with your ability to work this entire tournament and also MC a Hall of Fame banquet in the meantime.
Yeah, well, I love the BIAC, and they've been good to me, and I've been happy with things that's happened over the years. Of course, this is a conference that began play in 1971, and some of these schools have come in and left. North Carolina Central is a school that was a founding school member of the conference. They left and then came back, and we've had a couple schools that have done it over the years, and it's 13 strong right now, and had a lot of good things happening over the years. 54-43 the score. An 11-point lead right again for Hampton University. Darden makes 1. This is the 3rd of 3. So he makes 2 of 3. And the lead is 12, 55-43.
All right, it's now or never for Norfolk State right now in terms of offensive execution. Not particularly this possession, but this next couple 3 minutes.
Russell in the lineup for Norfolk State. 7 minutes to go. Shot. Those are the types of shots that normally go in that have not gone in today for the Spartans, as Johnson is ahead of the pack. Easy layup. And the lead is 57-43, 14-point advantage.
You can excuse the shots not going down, but you can't excuse getting complacent in your frustration. There's absolutely no excuse to let Reggie Johnson break out the back door like that.
Fuentes. We've seen a lot of the top schools get beat in this tournament. We've already seen the #1 seed go out in North Carolina Central.
That's a push on the Spartans again, and we're going to the other end to shoot more free throws.
Now the #2
we're not.
seed is in danger of being eliminated on the men's side.
A couple more fouls to give. My apologies, Charlie, for Norfolk State, but yeah, more than in danger right now. They are in some significant trouble.
Hampton, the #6 seed, should they prevail, it will be the #5 and #6 seed playing for the championship tomorrow.
You draw up any bracket at any level, and it's always interesting to see how it turns out differently than you might have imagined. Hence the $1 billion offered to anybody who can get the NCAA March Madness bracket right.
Well, I was going to enter that, but I didn't want to deprive anybody of getting that money.
Yeah, you don't need it, you know. Warren Buffett appreciates it.
You've got to give somebody else a chance. Short feeds off underneath, and that one falls for Rashid Gaston.
My problem with those brackets is I spend so much time watching some of these smaller one-bid conferences. I'll have Norfolk State, should they win tonight, winning the whole thing. Did that last year at Eastern Kentucky over Kansas. Didn't pan out for me.
At least you got him to the Final Four, though. Or maybe the Final 64.
Yeah, there you go. All right, here we go.
5:32 to go. 12-point lead. Back outside, the 3 ball, and this is good for Zanai Robinson, the freshman. Zanai Robinson comes back with a big bucket for the Norfolk State Spartans. For Robinson, he has 5 points in the game, a couple of field goals. He's 1 for 1 from 3-point range.
Extra look there. Great feed, and squares it up and knocks it down. I was about to say I'd be very disappointed if Norfolk State went out with a whimper. I certainly didn't expect that from the Spartans, and it doesn't seem as though that's the plan for them either. This is very much still a game here, Charlie. 9-point gap, 5:23. That's a lifetime, of course, in this shot clock era.
Robinson played 9 minutes against South Carolina State the other night and put up no points, had no kind of stats. But tonight, Robinson off the bench. Not only he has 5 points, he has a pair of rebounds and an assist. And he had a big 3 that time to pull his team to within 9 points. Still a lot of time, 57-48. But it is a foul by Short on Powers. And that's going to be the 7th team foul. They'll shoot 1 and 1 at the other end.
Yeah, 1 more to go.
Well, that was a 16 foul. I thought it was a 7th. 16 foul. So
you're forgiven. I called for the free throws 2 fouls ago. This isn't the greatest foul, by the way, from Jeff Short.
It looked like tackling the running back. Gaston all the way for 2.
Like I say, that was just a lack of awareness from Okoroba, and Hampton really not doing much to try to close out Norfolk State.
7-0 run now since being down by 14 for Norfolk State and the Spartans, and a timeout called by Buck Joyner.
And we talked about this in their quarterfinal win. Remember, that was a game that they should have had in hand as well, Charlie. Missed free throws, turnovers, and some sloppy play down the stretch. Made it a game in which Buck Joyner said if he had any hair, he would have lost it, and it didn't need to be that way. And that's why Hampton is the 6th seed in this tournament rather than up near the top with the bye of the 2 seed like Norfolk State was. And that's because they've struggled to close out games and really collectively learn how to win this year.
Over 2 minutes since Hampton has scored when they took a 14-point lead, 57-43. But it's been a 7-0 run for the Norfolk State Spartans. They pulled within 7, 57-50, with 4:59 to go in the contest.
This is Gaston off the gift of a turnover in transition, and he just glides right past a seemingly disinterested Pirates defense.
Under 5 minutes to go. Chivas. Reggie Johnson drives inside, backs it out, pulls up for the jumper, front of the iron, no good. And a foul inside that will send Okaroba to the free throw line.
Okaroba atones for his transition turnover by being Johnny on the spot for this miss from Reggie Johnson. Little bump the stick back, but he'll take the free throws.
Again, you've got to be impressed with the tenacity of Hampton University tonight, especially Chivas. Season high, 14 rebounds to go with those 20 points.
Buck Joyner did a great job, Charlie, in identifying the fact that Chivas might be a difficult matchup, I think, for these Norfolk State bigs, and he really used Chivas to take advantage of that. You look at Buck Joyner right there in his 6th season, and that's why these coaches are so great, because they look at these games in an entirely different way and see some of those matchup creations because they know their team so well.
Okaroba perfect at the free throw line tonight, 4 for 4. He has 6 points for his team, and the lead is 9 once again. 59-50 for Hampton University. Over Norfolk State. Winner goes on to meet Delaware State tomorrow in the championship games. Zanai Robinson with the ball, the freshman. Shot clock down to 10 seconds now. Short down the lane. Feeds off to Gaston for 2.
And the bucket there for Gaston, set up by Short, but good restraint by Chivas to not add the foul. He could have easily done that. He realized the battle had been lost.
Under 4 minutes to go in this one. 2 timeouts left for the Hampton Pirates, only 1 for the Norfolk State Spartans, and there's a foul.
They're going to call it on Short, and he thought he was shoved, but I thought he created that himself. I think that's the right call looking at it live.
Could have been either way. Under 4 minutes to go. 3:48, 7-point ball game. 59-52. Who's going to go to the next round, the championship against Del State? We'll know in about 4 minutes.
Short didn't realize he fouled out.
Huh?
Short didn't realize he fouled out. He tried to walk back out there.
Wow, he did foul out, huh? First time this year.
Yeah. That was not a great game for him.
Seven-point ball game. Jeff Short picked up that last foul. 25 points for him against South Carolina State, but he fouls out tonight with just 10 points, which is way below his season average of 19 points a game. Of course, he was the team's leading scorer, and it's the first time this year that he has fouled out of a ball game.
And you look back on it here as to what I was saying, and he gets the forearm as well, but Short running along in the contact, and maybe, as you said, Charlie, could have gone either way, but that's the night it's been for Short. It rolled that ankle early in the first half, and I know he'd never use that as an excuse, but it just seemed to go downhill for him from there.
9-point lead now, under 4 minutes to go. Hampton University on top of Norfolk State. The Battle of the Bay. Third time this season these two teams have met. Norfolk State won both meetings earlier in the year. Gaston down low, working against Chivas. Turns around, nice baby hook inside for 2.
Gaston's so dangerous because he can go either way with the spin to the hook. Seen the left from the middle, you see the right to the baseline.
Gaston with 13 points, make it 15 with that basket. 4 rebounds for him. He only has 2 fouls, so he's done a pretty good job of staying out of foul trouble. 2:59 to go.
Hampton has to be patiently aggressive, as I say. Need to run some clock, but also can't completely step off the gas here.
Five seconds on the shot clock. Powers loses the ball. Hicks gives it ahead. And a slam that time. And bringing it down was Deshaun Taylor.
That was all a result of Hampton being too conservative on that possession. They waited until way too deep in the shot clock, and then their options were nil.
But a three-pointer at the other end is a backbreaker coming off the hands of Karan Brown.
Brown was so wide open, you could almost see him looking over his shoulder to his bench and saying, "Coach, I know we're supposed to be running clock, but can I shoot this? Can I? And then he just drains it.
2 minutes to go in this one. 56 points on the board for Norfolk State.
Hampton's crowd starting to feel it. They're a little bit outnumbered here, but you wouldn't know it right now.
Eight-point ball game, 1:51 to go. And that big three-pointer that time by Karan Brown for Hampton University. That's his 9th point. He's 1 for 1 from three-point land. And at the free throw line, Mr. Brown 2 for 2. 3 for 3. Trying to make it 4 for 4. Misses the second one. But the lead is 9. 65-56. Winner takes on Delaware State tomorrow in the championship game. With that winner going on to the NCAA tournament, the automatic bid to the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Gaston shot short. And a foul is going to be on Okoroba. They'll send Taylor to the line for 2.
Well, that's a gift right there from Okoroba. Frustrated because he lost out on the rebound off that Gaston shot. And I say gift because Norfolk State used way too much clock for their best look to be a long-range 2 jumper from Gaston and from the corner.
Taylor gets that with the fall. I think both Jorna did an outstanding job from the coaching perspective in this game this evening.
Yeah, he's really worked the matchups. Again, Norfolk State come out with a 2-3, and Hampton did away with their game plan from the first 2 games and just took what the defense gave them. That matchup with Chivas, the defensive end, the rotation on Gaston and some of the other bigs has also been well orchestrated from Buck Joyner.
6 years as head coach of the Hampton Pirates. He was a pretty good player when he was playing in the CIAA at Johnson C. Smith. Minute 15 to go. Now they start to foul intentionally. Rasheed Gaston picked that one up, just his 3rd. That will send Karan Brown to the free throw line for the Hampton Pirates.
They picked the right guy to foul. Just over 50% on the year from the free throw line.
But he's been doing a pretty good job at the free throw line tonight. You said 50%, but that's the first time he's attempted a free throw today. I'm sorry, he's 4 of 5. I was thinking of Breon Key. I was looking at the wrong stat. Ron Brown, 4 of 5, 11 points. Misses a second though, but it's a 12. It's still a big lead, 66-58, 8-point advantage.
Robinson should have just launched that from the top of the key. Nobody picked up the ball.
And a foul this time on Okoroba for Hampton University. Number 4 on him.
You just can't commit fouls in that situation that far away from the basket. That's the second consecutive foul on Okoroba, and you can see his violent reaction to it.
So the Hampton Pirates giving something to cheer about as the Spartans of Norfolk State are in danger of being eliminated. The number 2 seed from the tournament. Number 6 looks like they're going to be playing number 5 tomorrow. And number 5 being the team that won early tonight, talking about Delaware State. Dr. Harvey, president of Hampton University, not too happy with the chain of events that are taking place right now. Well, he's happy about the chain of events. Norfolk State's not too happy with the chain of events that are taking place right now. As Taylor hits a pair of free throws, 66-60. Under a minute to go. Hampton with a 6-point advantage, and that will send Okoroba to the free throw line at the other end.
Okoroba is an under 50% free throw shooter, so I think at some point you're probably going to look at getting him off the floor if you can.
Yeah, but he's 4 for 4 at the line tonight.
Yeah, sometimes stats don't tell you
That's
everything.
That's why I said
right?
we haven't been on point all week long with it. Poor free throw shooters shot well. The great free throw shooters have not shot well.
You're absolutely right. With the exception of Amir May, he's been clutch, one of the conference's best. Look at that stroke, though. How is he shooting 47% coming into the tournament? You tell me that.
5 for 5 at the line, Okoroba.
Now that I praise him, this one will be a brick, probably.
Emmanuel Okoroba from Garland, Texas, had 4 points against Morgan State. This one went in and came back out, did not score against UMES.
There's life for the Spartans here, Charlie. Still plenty of time in this game.
That'll be a charge. Fuentes ran over the defender.
Yeah, and Okoroba, after making a couple of foolish plays on the defensive end, makes an expert one here. Recognizing that the dump was going to come from Fuentes to Gaston. He doesn't worry about Gaston and steps into the lane and takes the charge.
7-point lead for Hampton University. The ladies, the number 1 seed, eliminated earlier in the week by Maryland Eastern Shore, who's in the championship for the ladies against Savannah State. Fuentes, he fouls out with just 6 points. For Fuentes, the 4th time this year he's fouled out. 46 seconds of time remaining. Short sitting on the bench right now. He also fouled out. And it'll be Norfolk State's ball.
And again, Hampton has failed to do the little things at the end of games to close things out. Norfolk State getting very rough with the guards, trying to get the ball in bounds and being allowed to do so.
Ron Brown checks in for Hampton, 44 seconds. 7-point ball game.
And another opportunity to take some off the lead with the clock stop. This is the 3rd time that's been the case.
Reggie Johnson picks up that foul for Hampton University. Taylor. "15 points tonight, 8 of 11 at the line, 7 rebounds, make it 16 points for Taylor. 5-point ball game, 67-62, 42 seconds to go.
And once again, Norfolk
Miracles
State
do happen.
very much alive in this game right now.
And a foul immediately on Rashid Gaston.
And that time it was much easier to get the ball into Chivas. And now free throws.
4 fouls against Gaston. Chivas 19 points tonight, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 of 9 shooting, missed only 2 free throws up to this point.
Norfolk State put all their stock in stopping the guards, and rightfully so, and Chivas took advantage.
Junior out of St. Joe's High School in Chicago, Illinois. And things sometimes just go right for you.
Yeah, sometimes you just have a night. And Quentin Chivas is having one right now. I have no idea how that ball went in. You love to see it for a graduate student who's continued to play, and he plays the game so hard, almost to a detriment at times.
Transferred from Tennessee. And he's continuing to build on what he's done. 21 points in the game, 14 rebounds. And a foul as the freshman Robinson, Zanai Robinson, goes in strong with 31 seconds to go.
And that's the 4th time that you've given Norfolk State the opportunity to shave points off this lead with the clock stop. And again, Charlie, still 32 seconds roughly left in this game. That's still quite a bit of time remaining in this game. And you're teetering once again on the edge of 2 possessions.
Robinson hits the front end. Zanai Robinson from Norfolk State.
And the reason, as you look at the replay once again, is for Hampton, they're lagging off and they're not stopping the basketball, and that's allowing Norfolk State to penetrate, at which point you have 2 options. You allow the easy deuce or else you foul. Whereas if you pick up higher or you pick up full court, you'll at least make them take more time off the clock before those are your only options.
5-point game, 69-64. 31 seconds to go. Chivas with the ball in his hands. Across court. And a foul is going to be whistled, which will send Reginald Johnson to the line for Hampton University. He has 11 points. This will be his first free throw attempt tonight. Reggie Johnson, as a free throw shooter, 57%, but came into today's game with 33 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists in the 2 games prior to this contest tonight. Hits the free throw, his first of the evening.
Now with 26 seconds remaining, this free throw critical for Johnson. Makes it 3 possessions again.
So Johnson with 12 points so far tonight. That's 45 points in 3 games, make it 46.
Big free throws there from Reggie Johnson, who's been big all night.
7-point game, short shot. Chivas with his another rebound for him.
And now Hampton can really start to feel it, and so can their crowd, and rightfully so. Just 16 seconds to go, 3 possessions. Chance to add to it. For all intents and purposes, the Pirates have done in Norfolk State at this point.
Chivas 15 rebounds to go with his 21 points. He's just 1 rebound shy of a season high of 16, which came against Coppin. His high of 18 against FAMU. He has 22 points in the game and shooting 10 of 12 from the free throw line.
Remember, in Hampton's first round game in this tournament, Charlie, we're talking about a player that committed 4 fouls in 6 minutes. He harnessed things in the quarterfinals, and he's been short of brilliant tonight.
23 points, 15 rebounds for Chivas. Rashid Gaston will take the jumper and gets the rebound.
And just lay it back.
Okoroba. No basket. It's all over. Spartans of Norfolk State go down and defeat to Hampton University. They couldn't do it 3 times in the season. Dr. Harvey, is he happy? He's dancing in the aisle. We got to pull out Marvin the Vandella song, Dancing in the Streets.
Well, that is the reaction you get when your university wins a big rivalry game, and Hampton, they did win it. Again, Norfolk State, Charlie, didn't play their best basketball, and unfortunately they're going to have to go and think about that after this, because you get into a game like this and you really hate when you don't put on your best performance.
What you didn't see was Buck Joyner picked up the basketball and shot it from behind three-point line, and it went in. So everything's working for Hampton tonight.
That's exactly right. Everything is working out for Hampton here tonight because they made the adjustments Buck Joyner did to that 2-3 from Norfolk State. They took advantage of some personnel mismatches that you weren't necessarily keying in on. We're talking about us and or the fans going into this game, and used them as the X and Y factors in this win tonight for Hampton. And the Pirates, what a run it's been through this MEAC tournament. Hampton and Delaware State. I don't know about your bracket, but that's what I had on mine.
All right, 75-64, the final score. We're going to step aside for a moment, come back, and we'll talk to a very happy and elated Buck Joyner. Also, Quentin Chivas will join us right here at the Scope.
Surrounded on 3 sides by water, Hampton University is one of the most beautiful university settings you'll find anywhere. From our world-class research center to our dedication to the arts, we challenge our students to excel at the highest level. At Hampton, we're launching satellites that will better predict the weather. Researchers are involved in projects that will ease human suffering and save lives. Hampton University faculty, staff, and students are making a difference in the global community through service and science.
For the student athletes of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, every day is a new opportunity to live, to laugh, to learn. Our 13-member institutions share one goal: to prepare our student athletes for life after athletics. Because long after the last point is scored, after the clock hits 0, after the final whistle blows, life goes on, and we'll be there every step of the way. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, for students, for athletes, for life.
75-64 the final score as the Hampton University Pirates move on to the championship round where they'll play the Hornets of Delaware State. And I'm joined by Buck Joyner, head basketball coach of Hampton University. You're so happy, Buck. I saw you grab the basketball over there to see if you could still do it. I saw you make it.
Come on, don't short me now.
I saw you make it. I'm saying that. I saw you grab the basketball. You shot it from three-point range, and it went in. Everything is falling right for Hampton tonight.
You remember me at Johnson C. Smith, and I'm really joking about this, but I tell my uncle I'm the best scorer he never know he had. Now, we had some good scores, so I agree with what he did, but I'm the best one he never knew he had, so I want to make sure I still had it.
All right. Well, you still had it. Your whole team had it tonight. Explain what was the force and what made it happen for you tonight.
You know what? Belief. We believed that we had a shot to come in here and get to where we are now. Now tomorrow you got a chance to extend your season. But really more than anything else, it was belief. When we lost Dwight McKeel, our leading scorer and rebounder, I saw nobody back down. I saw nobody drop their head. I saw all of them focus a little more. So, you know, it was belief, nothing else but belief. The players did a great job. They're taking me for a ride right now.
I know you won't say this, but we said it on the air. We thought you did a masterful job from a coaching perspective in how you dealt with the matchups that were very important tonight.
Well, yeah, we tried to take care of every advantage that we could. And it became offense for defense. We knew that they have bigger guards, so we wanted to use Kieran a little bit more. And even though Javon is good and Presley is great against people like he played last night, Gaston and some of those Norfolk bigs are a little more mobile. So we felt like E would help us a lot more tonight, and he did. It worked out. For once, I made the right decisions, I guess. But I'm only as good as the players play. They played, so it made me look good.
Well, of course, they always say it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. You lost to them twice. Was that an incentive for your team tonight also?
You know what? Honestly, we didn't even talk about it. We talked about what we needed to do to advance, and we felt the thing that we didn't do last night was stay composed. We took bad shots in the last 3-4 minutes, and we missed free throws. We can't do both. If you ain't gonna make free throws, then hold the air out the ball. Don't let nobody else get it. Or if we do both, we'd have a chance to win. And tonight, I think we made them.
Talk about the play of Quentin Chivas. He had a season high 23 points. He also tied a season high with rebounds tonight. He hadn't played well in the first 2 games of the tournament, but came up big tonight.
That young man's a warrior, and that's the reason he transferred here. He wanted to have a chance to play to go to a tournament, and we have that tomorrow. He's very versatile, and we know the things that, we felt like at some point he was. I think he was a little nervous. He may not tell you that, but when you coming into this atmosphere and it's new to you, I don't care where you come from. Tonight he settled his nerves and he came through big for us.
All right, you have Delaware State. What are the challenges you're going to face tomorrow?
Inside, outside. You got to take care of Gray. You got to take care of May. You can't let them both get going, but you also can't let May get comfortable. So, it's a huge task. They beat us twice in a year. We'll see what we can do to try to control them.
All right, 75-64. Thank you.
Thank
Buck
you.
Joyner, congratulations. The Hampton University Pirates, he's already taken them to one MEAC tournament championship back in 2011. He's going to try to do it again this year. But he'll have to get by Delaware State tomorrow. Back to talk with Quentin Chivas from the Hampton Pirates in just a moment.
For the student athletes of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, every day is a new opportunity to live, to laugh, to learn. Our 13-member institutions share one goal: to prepare our student athletes for life after athletics. Because long after the last point is scored, after the clock hits 0, after the final whistle blows, life goes on. And we'll be there every step of the way. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, for students, for athletes.
75-64 our score here. I'm joined by Quentin Chivas, who kind of a slow start to you in this tournament. Only 5 points and about 7 rebounds in the first 2 games, but tonight you come out big, real big. And when I say big, we're talking about 23 points, 16 rebounds. You had your season high since coming to Hampton, career high as far as Hampton is concerned, and also you tied your season and career high as far as rebounds. What made the difference for you tonight?
Just winning, man. At the end of the day, I came to Hampton University to win the MEAC championship and go back to the tournament. So whether that's getting every rebound or scoring points or giving people assists, man, I'm just trying to do whatever to get the win at the end of the day.
And talk about some of the things we're seeing here. You're from Chicago, Illinois. You went to Tennessee. What made you transfer or come here? We know you're in grad school right now. What made you come to Hampton?
I just felt like when Coach Martin had left, Tennessee had a new staff come in, and I just felt like I was better off somewhere else, so I waited my options out during the recruiting process, and I felt like Hampton was a great place to get a degree, and I felt like they had a really high chance to go back in the tournament, then finishing second the year before. So really just, getting my master's at being a good school and trying to go back to the tournament.
We see you on the floor a lot. You do a lot of crashing and burning out there on the floor. So how do you keep, just going in there knowing that you're going to be a wreck?
I mean, you just got to do whatever to get the win, man. If that's me bulldozing to get the rebound or just diving on the floor, man, I just love to play basketball and love to win, and that's what I felt I did tonight.
Well, your team has to play a Delaware State team tomorrow for the championship.
Yes, sir.
Your feelings about that game, and this is a team that beat you twice during the regular season.
I mean, it's March. Anyone could win. I mean, they got us twice earlier in the year, as well as Norfolk State did, and we came out on top tonight. I just feel like we got to recoup, go back, rest our bodies, and come back and come out on top and get ready for this NCAA tournament.
Well, one of the things that we're proud of you about is because you're a true student athlete, going to grad school, working on your master's degree in sports administration. So congratulations and best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, Quentin Chivas having a big night tonight for the Hampton University Pirates. They go on to the championship game where they'll meet Delaware State. The final score, 75-64. And that young man, 23 points, 16 rebounds for the Hampton Pirates, trying to do something they haven't done since 2011, and that is win the MEAC Tournament Championship. So for John Laser, Charlie Neal saying so long from the Scope in Norfolk, where the final score was 75-64. Norfolk State goes down to the Hampton Pirates. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.